Hey, Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome to the March 2020 DLC announcement analysis. Without any further ado, let's just get into it.
Welcome, Civ fans, to the developer video for the final pack in the Civilization VI New Frontier Pass.
We'll be announcing our next new Civ and giving you all the details on 2 new world wonders, a new map script, and another exciting brand new game mode.
Every time we've announced any new Civ, we've seen...
Oh, hey, it's Anton. I don't think we've seen him in a... I don't think we've seen him in a developer video for a while, so it's good to see him again. I like that we're seeing new faces, too, all the time in these developer videos.
Ton of requests on social media for this Civ. It's been so hard to keep it secret when there's been so much demand for it, but finally, at long last, we are thrilled to announce that the next new Civ is... known for its vast naval empire, powerful port cities, being one of the first truly global civilizations. At long last, we're bringing you Portugal.
Oh, yes.
We'll be saving a detailed discussion of Portugal's mechanics for the first look video, but it should come as no surprise that you're going to need to sharpen your naval skills.
Very cool. I'm really excited for another naval civ. The naval game has been pretty cool. I mean, there's a few cool civs. Like Brazil is interesting because they have the Minas Gerais or whatever it's called. Norway is obviously like a staple. Then we have Dido. I think Byzantium and the Ottomans both have unique water units. But there hasn't been like a dedicated naval civ. Even Spain kind of fits in there a little bit as a naval civ because they got that Armada bonus. But yeah, I'm really curious to see what they do with Portugal. I'd kind of like to see some stuff that my expectation would be that they get some kind of bonus for having cities on other continents. I would expect a naval unique unit and then some sort of naval military bonus like towards harbors or boat production.
History has so many compelling civilizations, it's always a challenge for us to choose which one we want to feature next.
It's a really good point. A lot of people like make requests for different civs, and I think Civ 6 has done a really good job of bringing in really old popular civs, but also kind of bringing in really new, cool, unique civs. So I think the developers do deserve a lot of credit there.
However, Portugal gave us the chance to design some systems that really encourage and reward maritime exploration and trade. This is something that not a lot of other civs specialize in, so putting Portugal on a map really creates some fun strategic opportunities. We also...
Interesting. So they mentioned trade there. That was something I didn't think about. So I would imagine there would be some really cool, unique trading mechanics for Portugal, maybe in terms of city-states, trading with city-states, or even other players. There might be loyalty mechanics, all that sort of stuff.
We used Portugal as the inspiration for one of our 2 world wonders, with the second hailing from another previously released civ, Babylon.
Historically, the imposing Torre de Belém served as ceremonial gateway to Lisbon. In Civilization VI, it grants additional gold and Great Admiral points. It also provides bonus gold for every luxury resource at a destination of international trade routes. And when...
Hang on, did I accidentally... I think I forgot to set this to maximum quality. Oops. You just have to deal with that. The double compression.
On another continent, a free building. Meanwhile, the towering ziggurat at Temenanki grants additional science yields every turn, as well as bonus science and production to all floodplains in it.
Both of these wonders seem pretty cool. I really like the Marsh one more than the trading one. Marsh, now with the Lady of Reeds and Marsh's Pantheon, is pretty crazy, especially if you can get this wonder. You can get a tile that's giving you 3 food, 3 production, and 2 science, which is like, that's like a mine, a farm, and a campus specialist slot all had like a baby and married. I don't know, in some like transhuman multi-parent household that just makes crazy good tiles.
Its home city, and marsh tiles in its civilization.
Speaking of marsh tiles, the Portugal pack also includes a new map script, the Wetlands. Dominated by marshes, this map offers new strategic challenges and defensive possibilities. For example, while marshes penalize movement, careful positioning can allow ranged units to exploit enemies' reduced speed.
Finally...
Very cool. I like I do really enjoy that they're adding more map scripts. It kind of looked like, we'll talk a little bit more about that, but it looked mostly like it was a fairly generic continent script, but it replaced like a good chunk of the forests on the map with marshes, which is really, really cool because there's actually some really interesting things you can do with marshes in terms of pantheons, in terms of wonders, in terms of special abilities, and in terms of civs like Vietnam.
The bone mint we've been waiting for, included in the Portugal pack, is our latest brainchild. Zombie defense. In this optional grave mode, the dead don't stay dead for long and present an ever-growing threat to the world's civilizations. Or as I like to think of it, an ever-growing brain drain.
In zombie defense, every unit slain in combat has a chance to rise from the battlefield as a ravenous zombie.
Okay, hang on. I am super. Is anyone else getting like zombie overly attached girlfriend from like the the posture she chose to like deliver this line is actually genuinely terrifying. It's like, what do you mean our brains? What do you mean you don't want to put our brains into a mutual bank account?
Battlefield as a ravenous zombie. Zombie units chase and attack the nearest non-zombie unit, and any unit they successfully catch, crunch, and kill respawns as zombies themselves.
But don't worry, because sadly, the living can fight back. An arsenal of new trap and barricade improvements deal damage to hostile units that pass through or near them. These
that's really, really cool.
Can be built
And it looks like they can build a barricade as well. Okay.
on owned or neutral territory.
So it's basically like the Great Wall of China,
sadly,
I imagine.
Zombies' obsession with brain banquets and digestive devastation means they can only fall victim to the traps and barricades and are unable to pillage them.
I love his little reaction here. I love that they're having more fun with the developer videos, like makeup and effects and stuff, like with the Carl Berrien one. I'm hoping they continue to do that sort of stuff because, it makes the developer, deliveries a little bit more charming. It's a little bit more fun. It's like a little event. I really like it.
Huh?
Also, unluckily for the undead, 2 new cities projects allow civilizations to temporarily subjugate the zombie units within a city's limit, putting them under players' control. This lets you direct zombies' mindless mayhem at your opponent. You can either use zombies to directly target enemy units, or just move them out of your city and closer to someone else's brain.
Oh, sweet Jesus Christ. That's going to be insane for multiplayer. Also, again, still getting zombie overly attached girlfriend vibes. This like head tilt thing is really like genuinely terrifying. Like that staring eyes head tilt.
You'll also have access to the Zombie Defense Spy Operation, which attempts to spawn zombie units on work tiles in another player's city.
And most importantly, brains.
To sum up, the 6th and final installment of the new Frontier Pass is the much requested Portugal pack, also featuring new world wonders from Portugal and Babylon, a new marsh-focused map script, and a new game mode that my coworkers are really, really hyped about.
Civ fans, you're the best fans in gaming. We appreciate your support through every new Frontier Pass pack release, and we hope you'll continue to follow us on social media to keep up to date on all the latest in the Civilization franchise. For one thing, be sure to check back in April as we reveal the final free game update of the season.
We hope you are all staying safe and healthy and non-zombified. And remember, when it comes to Civilization or the undead, there's always one more brain turn. The hashtag is one more turn.
Okay, that was great. I loved how much fun they had making that. That was really, really great. Absolutely brilliant. Let's take a moment to kind of scrub through the video to a couple of key points.
Portugal's mechanics come as no surprise.
Yeah. Oh, notice how careful they're being with their editing to like hide unit names and all that sort of stuff. But like, with the power of frame by frame, we can just about spot that these guys, it actually looks like they might be able to build something. And either this is like a missionary compound of some kind, or it's like a feitoria. So that's cool, because this looks like Portugal's unique unit. You can just barely see that they've got like little flags on them. And they look like caravel replacement units with more movement, although that could be down to the promotion and the Great Lighthouse. So you never know. But definitely it looks like their unique unit can make a building, which is super exciting. We've also got the Torre de Belém. I don't know how to say this, so forgive me. But international trade routes from this city receive +2 gold for every luxury resource at the destination. So if you're sending an international trade route, which is between a player and a city-state or another player, you will get +2 gold for every luxury resource. Now, I would assume that would be like, you could be getting anywhere from 2 to 10 gold from this, depending on how good the other city is and how many luxuries they have, which is really, really cool considering you're already getting 5 gold and a great admiral point from this wonder. Also, the really huge effect here is when it's constructed, cities not on your home continent receive the lowest production cost building they can currently construct. I wouldn't call that like super hardcore game breaking, but if you combine it with something like mass purchasing a bunch of settlers right before you get another golden age and then plug in Hicks on Dracones, or you have a heroic age with both, you could get a lot of value out of Torre de Belém. You could plug this in, you build it up, and you instantly get a free monument in all those cities. You basically turn your empire into Rome at least once, because I think this only applies one time, which is really, really cool. I like this wonder. I do think that there's a lot of like coastal wonders now. It's getting very hard to like pick and choose which ones you want, because there's so many wonders that want to be built next to a harbor these days. I already talked a little bit about this, but I think this is, of the 2 wonders, this is my favorite in terms of how strong it will be, because this will like be useful, especially on that wetlands map, but it'll be useful in like a bunch of different scenarios, especially for that +1 science and +1 production on all floodplains tiles for this city. Depending on how early it comes into the game though, it might be really hard to actually build this wonder. Even so, getting the bonus to all the marsh tiles in your empire and having a really strong floodplain city. I think I played a game recently where I had like a ton of floodplains all over my empire. And it might not actually be uploaded yet. It might be going up tomorrow. It might be my Congo game. But like that extra production would have been super helpful, because floodplain tiles are a little bit weak, unless they're desert floodplains, but like the Lady of Reeds and Marsha's Pantheon. Now, I want to also take a moment to look at the wetlands map, because it looks like a fairly sizable portion of the terrain is replaced with marsh, which is going to have implications for your gameplay on this map. In particular, are you harvesting that marsh to boost your population? Are you going for the Lady and Reeds of Marsh's Pantheon? Stuff like that. The player that gets that Pantheon on this map is going to be so far and away ahead, and as well, the that Ziggurat wonder, the new one, it's going to have a massive impact on this map. But yeah, otherwise, it looks like, if you look at the mini-map down here, it does look like a fairly standard continents map, with a ton of extra marsh on it, which is really, really cool. Because continents map is one of the most balanced ones, so a variation on it is always welcome. As for the zombie mode, I didn't really talk about it much while they were running it. This seems like a very fun mode for multiplayer, especially because of what's available, like the crazy situations that are going to happen out of people being too greedy and not having enough units. Things spiraling out of control, recruiting zombies to send at your enemies. It's going to be a ton of fun. I love the new addition of like traps and walls too. That's kind of cool. I don't know how much gameplay we're going to get out of that, but at the very least, they're cool ideas, right? And the exploration of cool ideas is something that I very much welcome from a fairly mature game now that Civ 6 is. And then the final thing I want to comment on is, like, towards the end of the last couple of dev diaries, or well, these kind of developer videos, they've kind of talked about this being these being like the end of this season, and I'm pretty confident we're going to see at least one more major update for Civ after April. Whether that's an expansion pack or a DLC or perhaps an entirely new season, I would expect we would see another one. I don't see any indications that the development on Civ 6 has stopped at all. And I wouldn't be surprised if there were rumblings of Civ 7, but I super would not expect Civ 7 before 2024. Like, realistically, that's a long game to develop, because you're using new technology, you're using new business models, you're using new delivery methods, new distribution publishers. Like, the whole market has changed massively since the launch of Civilization 6, and how you design and build that game is going to have to take into all of those changes into account, right? Because Firaxis is a very high sort of quality. It is the AAA, 4X developer, realistically. Or at least the closest thing we'll get to a AAA, 4X developer, at least in in terms of the scale of the game's popularity. And you know, well, I mean, I would argue that the quality is even beyond what you might expect from some AAA games. Not going to mention any for fear of you know, souring some relationships. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this developer update analysis. We will be checking out more stuff. I think I don't know what day they said it would be out. I think it was like next weekish. So check back in like 7 to 10 days and we should have a rough guideline of, you know, what's coming out. And I'm going to call that the end of the video. I love you all very much and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.